You are watching a special presentation from Tinkle Group Gaming. Hello guys, and welcome here to the Tinkle Group Gaming All-Star Race here today from the Bermuda Triangle Super Speedway. I'm Brian here in the booth. Welcome. Of course, in case you weren't here last season, this race was supposed to be the All-Star Race in season number 7. Unfortunately, my schedule got busy. I didn't have time, and I was kind of always recording last second. So because of that, we didn't have the All-Star Race. But this time around, we are here. We're in St. George, Bermuda today, getting ready to run this 2.5 mile Super Speedway Triangle. Of course, last night we got a taste of what to expect with the All-Star Showdown. Now today, all 32 drivers that qualified for the All-Star race, or all 29 plus the 3 that won last night, will be running today. So 32 drivers will make up this All-Star field. And starting out in front of it is Scott Upton, who is the highest running in the points right now. Again, first through 29th set by the point standings entering this race. So Scott Upton starts from the pole. To his outside will be the hottest driver in the garage, Reggie Fogelman, in the number 14. As we get going, what can we expect here today? Will we see a big one? And who will walk out today victorious? Will it be the Fadens again, or will someone put a stop to their run in the All-Star race? We'll find out in a moment. Let's roll the intro, or we'll be right back in just a moment here on Tinkle Group Gaming with your starting lineup from Bermuda. Welcome back. The starting lineup will be on the left-hand side of your screen. Again, remember, it is set on the owner points entering this race for positions 1 through 29, the drivers who did qualify their way in by winning, by the 4 categories. And then, of course, the final 3 spots made up of the winners in yesterday's segments in the All-Star Showdown. Here's how the race will be made up. It's going to be a 15-lap segment 1. Of course, we will have pit stops only in this segment. A failure to pit is an EOLL for segment number 2. Segments 2 and 3, 10 laps. After segment 3, or for segment 3, the field will be inverted. And then, of course, for segment 4, the field will remain the same, and it'll be a 5-lap shootout. But we come out of 6. Scott Upton, Reggie Fogelman, green flag. We're underway at the All-Star race. Sailing off into turn 1. Scott Upton, Michael Collins, they'll get the lead, or they'll get the first 2 spots early. And of course, the fun question will be, when will these guys make their scheduled pit stop? Of course, they can go about 8 to 12 laps in, I imagine. The other thing I forgot to mention, I didn't have time to mention it, is Michael Collins will go to the lead out of 6. There is no overtime in the first 3 segments. Segment 4, the 5-lap shootout, will have overtime if we need it, and unlimited attempts as well. As Michael Collins leads the opening lap, but now Muhammad Zain Abdullah to the race lead. Trevor Collins is now back there, your most recent Jello Cup Series winner, or one of your most recent Jello Cup Series winners. Look at it, 3 wide back there for position. And everybody's shuffling around. Noah Sewell trying to make that bottom work right now. But Trevor Collins gets back down. I imagine for the first 2.5 segments. And I say half because I imagine the second half of segment 3 and segment 4, you're not going to have any friends. As of course everyone's going for that all-star race purse. Oh, caution's out. We got ourselves a wreck. Bradley Ream, Dan Hummel, Kyler Anderson, Nate Rattray, and others. Steve Morgan, Charles Sanford. It's going to bear watching. Because again, much like overtime rules, if these guys go 2 or more laps down, they cannot continue in the race. Word from race control, pit stops will, if they decide to pit under the caution, it will count toward the segment 1 pit stop requirement. There was no, again, it was very gray area. It just said you had to make a pit stop. It didn't say under green. So if they decide to pit here, they can knock out their mandatory pit stop requirement. And that's something we will watch as you see the pace car coming to the front of the field. We did not see a caution in the All-Star Showdown last night. What we did see, though, was a nice save. We almost did see a caution in the opening segment there. But thankfully, they kept it together. And here we go. All the cars will peel to that inside lane. Not a single car is staying out. Again, this is fulfilling the mandatory pit stop, and all the drivers were relayed that on the radio, so no one will have to go to the end of the longest line. You see them making it through 5 and 6 into the pits. Pit speed down to 55 coming in. Charles Sanford done for the day. Unfortunate. Thank goodness, though, I'm sure these guys are saying that it was not for points in this race. Looks like a fuel-only strategy for the 19. Keep in mind, it did not clarify what kind of pit stop you had to make. It just said you had to come to the pits, and Mohammed Zain Abdullah, I believe, wins the race off the pit lane. It might have been the 5 of Scott Upton, though, despite the tire change. Let's go see what happened. Dan Hummel, Dylan Young, in the middle of a 4-wide situation. Doesn't work at Daytona Talladega. Won't work here. Dan Hummel gets hooked, goes up into Bradley Ream, who goes up into Zach Fitzwater and Keith Stevens and others. And it just spars a big wreck here. Of course, Charles Sanford nowhere to go. Lyle Austin gets tagged, and then, big hit there for the 11 and the 10, as well as the 77, Kyler Anderson. You see there, Nate Rattray goes for a nice wild ride here. Not the way he wanted to celebrate his All-Star race weekend. And it'll come to a very premature end for a bunch of them. We'll take you back to the green in just a moment. Welcome back. Cars out of the race. Charles Sanford, Dan Hummel, Steve Morgan, Samet Ozkan, Nate Rattray. They are all done for the day. They have not gotten sorted out since their pit stops. I'm shocked they didn't wave the restart off. But Scott Upton is going to lead us to the green. The 50 did avoid going a lap down, I do believe. So did You see Bradley Ream, he officially goes 2 laps down. His day just about over. Kyler Anderson, he stays on the lead lap. Here comes Max Anderson for the race lead. He'll take it away. What'll be nice is after the segment, it'll give these cars a chance, or it'll give these teams a chance to work on those cars. So don't count anybody out just yet, because everyone's going to be kind of back at full strength in the next segment. Eric Faden, he started last of the 29 that were eligible. Now he wants the race lead. He'll take it away. Eric Faden, one of the part-time efforts in the Jello Cup Series, but he is a former All-Star Race winner, winning back in season, or the first season we did it, over at Ricky Raceway. Of course, that was in season number 5. And he's looking to add a second All-Star to his resume. Behind him, of course, Max Anderson and Parker Smith in the number 44. Here goes the 8. Tell the pack kind of got separated thanks to the kind of late restart, or the restart before they could get reorganized. That inside lane really worked there. Max Anderson to the race lead. Here comes Dylan Young in the number 19, or in the number 2 rather, with the number 19 is what I meant to say. Jumped a little ahead. Dylan Young, of course, he started that first wreck. And now he's up here battling for the lead while the others are all out of this race. Probably not making a lot of guys very happy. 3 wide for the race lead. Reggie Fogelman wants it too. And he'll get the race lead, but here comes Bafode Sacco on the bottom lane. How's about the Honda power coming through the field? Alexander Rowe, the Season 5 champion. And we look on down the list, the only car 2 laps down, and the only car really is Bradley Ream. He'd be the only one out of this race, in addition to those 5 that retired. Again, keep in mind, just like in overtime, you finish the segment 2 laps down, your all-star race is over. Bafode Sacco to the race lead, the 51 off the wall. And he really killed the car. See if we can hear if there's something wrong. It doesn't appear so, but he really did a number on his race car for sure, so he likely will be done for the day. Eric Faden to the lead, 4 laps of racing to go. Oh wait, sorry, there's 2 packs. My mistake. This is the battle for the lead right now. Carter Joey, Dylan Young, Bafode Sacco, Reggie Fogelman. It is a 4-car breakaway. But if they keep running like this, these leaders behind, they're going to run them down probably really quick. There is lap traffic ahead. Keep in mind, they will not be waved off. Everyone's going to go high. It's going to be a lap traffic moment. But again, keep in mind, they'll get back on the lead lap. They'll get a reset with 3 to go in segment 1. Now they're 3 wide. This could create an issue with Keith Stevens. Again, they're not waving them off because they are anticipating a restart in segment 2 and a reset. Assuming those cars don't go 2 laps down, which they absolutely will not. So no harm, no foul. And you can tell some of them able to easily get by back there. Reggie Fogelman and Bafode Sacco, the top 2. 2 laps to go in segment 1. Now Bafode Sacco to the race lead. Here comes Reggie Fogelman. They've been exchanging the lead for a few laps, and that has allowed Dylan Young to close as we got 1 lap to go in segment 1. Can Reggie Fogelman hang on? Will Dylan Young challenge? Oh, Dylan Young's got a nose. And he's got help from behind. Maybe not. We got a caution. We're racing back to the line. It looks like the 50 of Lyle Austin might be the reason for this caution. Dylan Young will win segment 1. Again, keep in mind, despite the caution, oh, 43 in the wall. But keep in mind, even if that caution came out before the leader took the white, the segment would have ended under caution. Congratulations to Dylan Young. We will find out who will advance to segment 2. We're still trying to find out that exact number, but in the meantime, let's go get a replay, see what happened to bring out our second caution here of the race. Just no time for Lyle Austin to react here. He gets into the back of the 6, who was just trying to get down, or he came down the track actually, and that just caused the 50 to wreck here, as well as the 6, Keith Stevens. Further back, it looked like the 22 of Mitchell Collins might have gotten a piece of this. And he does. He goes right into the 50 of Lyle Austin. That will end Mitchell Collins' day as well here in the All-Star race. So those 2 will be joining Bradley Ream in being done for the All-Star race. Dylan Young, he is your segment 2 or your segment number 1 winner. As you can see here, right across the line to take the caution and the checkered. So congratulations to Dylan Young. Will he hold on in segment number 2? Will there be more wrecks? We'll find out in just a moment when we get restarted here from the Bermuda Triangle. Welcome back. It is a clean slate here in segment number 2. Of course, 9 cars out of the race, and they are Lyle Austin, Mitchell Collins, 24th, 25th, 26th, Joey Trickle, 27th, Bradley Ream, 28th, Charles Sanford, 29th, Dan Hummel, 30th, Steve Morgan, 31st, Samet Ozkan, 32nd, Nate Rattray. Those are the cars out of the race and the positions they will finish in. Everyone else who stayed a lap down, they get a reset essentially, so they're back in the race as Dylan Young, Bafode Sacco, Reggie Fogelman, Max Anderson, Parker Smith. They will lead us through turn number 6 here at Bermuda to the restart zone. Green flag. We're back underway. Of course, keep in mind in this segment, no pit stops. And we will be inverting the field for the start of segment 3. Another 10-lap shootout as Reggie Fogelman will go to the race lead. Now here comes the 44, Parker Smith. Behind them, all 3 wide action. Exactly what got us in this mess a little earlier in the race. Parker Smith will lead the opening lap of segment 2. That would be bad news for him, though. He will go to the back if he wins it. Parker Smith, of course, he is one of the part-time efforts in the Jello Cup Series this season. He is the only driver to win 2 double points races in the same season. Of course, he won the Brickyard 400 last year, and he won the Southern 500, 2 of the marquee events. He looked like a threat to make the Championship 4, unfortunately just missed out. And he went down to the Lift National Series this season. But he decided, you know what, let's add some cup races to the schedule. So he's running, of course, this race and the 9 points races on the double points events and the super speedways for the Jello Cup Series this season. Or for New York Racing this season. And, you know, they're very happy to see this, him leading the field, something that he's no stranger to doing. The Fords are lined on the inside, with the exception of the 12, and now they kind of get a little out of shape. But they were making some good headway. Zach Fitzwater, Reggie Fogelman, Dylan Young. Dylan Young now looking for second. Now the Stewart Haas cars to the inside. Fitzwater was slightly involved in that first wreck, as was the guys behind him, but again, clean slate here in segment 2. And they're looking to make their way back to the front. Behind, at the very back of the field there, you see 3 wide. And it's causing some drivers to lose this draft. 4 wide for third. Someone's got to back out of this. And Dylan Young does. Fitzwater to second. And we're going to do it again. Fitzwater is there. Here comes Alexander Rowe. The only Honda in the field. And that's got to be tough, of course. Austin Shaw, the only remaining Subaru in the field. Dan Hummel out of the race. So again, I mentioned chances are you'll have friends the first 2.5 segments. But beyond that, you're probably not going to have many friends. Could maybe the 28 and the 48 work together and make something happen, seeing that they are the only they are the only representatives of their manufacturer at this point. That's something to think about as we get into the latter stages. I mean, if I was Austin Shaw or Alexander Rowe, I think I'd cut that deal and say, look, we're our only manufacturer representatives. We're our only team representatives. Why not? Here we go. Alexander Rowe, he's got a nose underneath the 44. And it's just enough. He's going to look for the lead this time. Down the backstretch, Reggie Fogelman decides to go help the 44. But he'll cut back low with the 45. And now they've got a train to the inside. Should be able to easily get around the 44 of Parker Smith. Alexander Rowe now to the race lead. Here comes Eric Faden in the number 62. Making his presence known at the end of this segment. With 2 laps of racing to go. 2 laps of racing to go in this segment. My apologies. 4 wide back there again. If they don't want to suffer the same fate that became of the others, they might want to think about this. So it's getting dicey back here as we come to the finish of segment number 2. White flag, 1 lap to go in our second segment. Again, keep in mind the field will be inverted for segment number 3. So if Alexander Rowe hangs on, he's under pressure from the 62 of Eric Faden. Here we go to turns 3 and 4. Not going to happen. But again, if it stays the way it is, Alexander Rowe will start last in the next segment. As of right now, last place is Dick Clark. So he would start first in segment number 3. As through 5 and 6, coming back to the checkered for this segment, Alexander Rowe is your segment number 2 winner. I know it's only a segment, but this is big because Honda has just captured their first flag of the season. Of course, I'm sure they were wishing it was a points-paying event, but nonetheless, a good run by Alexander Rowe there. He gets the segment win we're going to invert the field, and we'll be right back with segment number 3 here in just a moment. Getting ready to start segment number 3 here in the Tinkle Group Gaming All-Star Race. If you're just tuning in, Dylan Young won segment number 1. Then Alexander Rowe delivers Honda their first checkered in segment number 2. And of course the field will be inverted for this one, so that means he's starting in last. But Dick Clark, James Qualls, Jessica Kinghart, Bafode Sacco, and Noah Sewell, your top 5, as they'll lead us to the restart zone. Green flag. Segment 3 is underway. Now's a good time in segment number 3 to let you know, of course, we don't have any races this weekend, nor do we have any midweeks next week. Of course, our next race, tentatively as of right now, will be on July 9th. So about 9 days from now, we will take on Pocono Raceway. Of course, that'll be the double header for the Jello Cup Series, start Saturday and Sunday. Then, of course, we will have our international tour after that. We will be going to Surfers Paradise. Then we will be going to Twin Ring Motegi. That'll be the second race. And then, of course, Delaware in Canada will be the third and final race of our international swing here on the Jello Cup schedule. And then, of course, we will wrap up the season, the regular season, at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Brickyard 400. Those are the upcoming points races for those who watch the Jello Cup Series. And, of course, a little bit of an update on the series as we go forward. Battle for the lead, the two Toyotas. Dylan Ibrahimian took the lead. Now Carter Joey wants it here on lap number 2. Coming to complete it at the line, Carter Joey by just a nose. Now here comes Dylan Young with help from the 48. Again, we're getting to the point. Again, lap 6. When we start lap 6, we're only going to have 10 laps of racing to go in the All-Star race. Of course, 5 of them in this segment, and then we'll have a 5-lap shootout in the final segment as Austin Shaw now goes to the race lead. Again, no more wacky things in this All-Star race. The field was inverted. We're done with that. Okay, no field inversion, no pit stops. Now it is about getting to the front and staying there. So again, these guys looking for friends, trying to find some. At the same time, friends are going to be out the window very, very soon. It's going to be a battle for the win in the All-Star race. The $1 million for the winning team. Just a disclaimer, it's not a real $1 million. Just for those who want to ask about that. I don't have that kind of money. Of course, we're just talking, just because that's normally the All-Star race purse. So it's fictional money. Don't believe it. Come to complete lap 5. Austin Shaw leads the race again. He is the only Subaru remaining in this All-Star race. Dave James, Brian James did not transfer in, and Dan Hummel involved in a big wreck in segment 1, which will cause him to finish 29th in this All-Star race. Alexander Rowe, the lone Honda in the field. His teammate Brittany White did not make the field for the All-Star race. She was not involved in a wreck, so again, because Andretti only has 2 Hondas, that is why Alexander Rowe Of course, being the former champ, the only one eligible for the All-Star race. Saw Scott Upton on the apron. Might have been an issue for the 5. As we got 5 to go. We got 10 to go in the All-Star race. And I'm telling you, I'm keeping my eyes on that number 62. He's in the right place at the right time right now. He could be setting himself up good for when we go into the 5-lap shootout to determine the winner. See, the field got a little bit separated there thanks to Scott Upton. Again, keep an eye on that 62. Here he comes, looking for the lead. To the inside. Eric Faden, now the race leader in the Tinkle Group Gaming All-Star race. Again, we mentioned the driver, that 62, Eric Faden, and then of course Nathan Faden in the number 3. They both have an undefeated run here in the All-Star race. Eric Faden won Season 5. Nathan Faden won Season 6. We did not have one in Season 7. Three laps of racing to go, and that mini pack that got separated, guess what? They've caught up. So they're not done yet. I'll tell you, it's a testament to the Faden family. Of course, they're both running 1 and 2 right now. This is a testament to them. They just have a knack here in All-Star Racing, you know, in the All-Star race, for being in the right place at the right time. Again, the All-Star race isn't over yet. This isn't the final segment. But they're 1-2 right now. As we come to the end of segment 2 in just a couple, or segment 3 in just a couple laps. Here goes Eric Faden for the lead, or Nathan Faden for the lead, rather. Keith Stevens back here. Dylan Young as well. He's been strong all day. And we got a 3-wide battle here for the race lead at the end of segment 3. Dylan Young will muscle ahead for now. One lap of racing to go in segment 3. Can Dylan Young hang on? Oh, it's going to be 4 wide for second. Not what you want to see. They're door to door and they just make it, but someone's going to have to back out. And they solve it. Keith Stevens back here. He was involved in an early wreck. He's not done just yet. Here he goes, looking for the lead in the All-Star race. Nathan Faden also looking. 3 wide through 5 and 6. And to the line, Nathan Faden will win segment number 3. How's about that? Nathan Faden, your Season 6 All-Star race winner. He's going to be in the prime position, but he's also in the catbird seat as we enter the 5-lap shootout, which will begin in just a moment when we come back here on Tinkle Group Gaming. Don't go anywhere. The final segment is next. Here we go. One final time, maybe, in the All-Star race. Of course, it is the final segment, the 5-lap shootout, to determine the All-Star race winner And what team will go home with $1 million? Again, fictional money for those that don't know. Nathan Faden, Keith Stevens on the front row for this restart. Dylan Young, Eric Faden. Then we've got Dylan Ibrahimian, James Qualls, Trevor Collins, Michael Collins, Kyler Anderson, Austin Shaw, your top 10. Of course, keep in mind we have overtime at our overtime in our hands if we need it. Through 6. We're back underway at Bermuda with 5 laps of racing to go. There's no friends now. It's you need to get to the front, and you need to find a way to stop this guy who's leading the race. Because keep in mind, again, Nathan Faden, your most recent All-Star race winner back in Season 6 at 8 Bowl. Again, him and his brother, or him and his family member, Eric Faden, both undefeated in All-Star race competition. We got a battle for the lead. Keith Stevens wants it. He'll take it away from Nathan Faden as we come to 4 laps of racing to go here in the All-Star race. Trevor Collins trying to have a say in this. How's about Max Anderson coming up through the field as well? I told you that Nathan Faden was in the right position, but he was also in the catbird seat, and he's now stuck on the high side. See Eric Faden there shuffled to the back. How's about Max Anderson? He could put RCR back in victory lane here. Of course, Eric Faden won in that car in the All-Star race a few seasons ago. So he could at least keep RCR undefeated in the All-Star race. 3 to go. Here comes Jessica Kinghart, the last one to punch her ticket into the All-Star race. How's about Zach Fitzwater? He could pull a worst to first in 5 laps. Keep an eye on that 4. Fitzwater clears, or he almost is clear for 3rd. We're going to come to 2 laps of racing to go in the All-Star race. Fitzwater looking for 2nd. But he's got no help from behind. 4 wide behind him. Once the leader takes the white flag, the next flag will end it. Nicholas Jawit now looking to the inside. The real battle is for 2nd. And that's exactly what Max Anderson wants to see. We come to the white flag this time. It's going to be 1 lap of racing to go in the All-Star race, presented by Mitchell's Memes. Max Anderson, a pretty dominating race lead right now. No one's really able to clear for that 2nd spot. Here comes James Qualls. Can he get a run through 3 and 4 and set something up in 5 and 6? He's going to need some help. Oh man, I don't think he's going to get there. Through 5 and 6. They're bumper to bumper, but there's no help behind. And out of 6, RCR remains undefeated. with Max Anderson. He wins the Tinkle Group Gaming All-Star Race here at Bermuda. Congratulations to the number 8 team. They get the job done. And again, RCR stays undefeated in the All-Star Race. Of course, Season 5, the number 8 of Eric Faden. Season 6, the number 3 of Nathan Faden. And now the number 8 again in season number 8. Pretty ironic here at Bermuda. There's your final results again. Max Anderson, James Qualls, Trevor Collins, Nicholas Jawit, Parker Smith, your top 5. Then you got Muhammad Zain Abdullah. The first rookie is Noah Sewell in 7th. Then you've got Scott Upton, Keith Stevens, Alexander Rowe. They round out your top 10. And as you look at the rest of the results, I do want to read off the DNFs. 24th, Lyle Austin in the number 50. 25th, the 22 of Mitchell Collins. 26th, the 51 of Joey Trickle. 27th is the 27 of Bradley Ream. 28th, the 99, Charles Sanford. 29th, the 25 of Dan Hummel. 30th was the 15 of Steve Morgan. 31st was the 11 of Samet Ozkan. And 32nd was the number 10 of Nate Rattray. That is the finishing results here. That is all we've got from the Bermuda Triangle. We want to wish you all a very happy 4th of July race weekend, or 4th of July weekend. We hope you stay safe. Don't blow off your hands with fireworks. Remember safety there. And we will be back in 9 days when the Lift National Series and the Jello Cup Series go to Pocono. Until then, goodbye, everyone.